got a hat on my head.
On November 24th, 2005, something truly disturbing happened at Disneyland. It began as an ordinary day at the incredible theme park. Many families were leisurely strolling through the park, with the joyful squeals and laughter of children coming from the crowd, while Disney mascots wandered around, posing for pictures. Suddenly, the enchanting magic of Disneyland was shattered when a frantic call echoed over the crowd. "James, where are you? James! James!" A worried mother was running around the center square of the park, desperately calling out her son's name. Other mothers instinctively pulled their children closer to them. As the woman frantically ran around, her voice shifted from a state of panic to one of deep, terrible despair. Tears began streaming down her face. At this point, park security arrived, and a search for the missing boy was announced over the megaphones, providing a description of his appearance. Despite the efforts, the child could not be located, and none of the visitors reported seeing him. A few hours went by, and then something else occurred. Ronnie, where's Ronnie?" This terrible scenario occurred once more. The mother was frantically running around, shouting her son's name and asking everyone she encountered if they had seen him. She was running alongside her husband, who was attempting to calm her down, reassuring her that everything would be okay and that their son would certainly be found. Another announcement was made for a missing boy named Ronnie, but unfortunately, it didn't help, and none of the visitors had any information. On that same day, security measures were increased at the park after the disappearance of the two boys. That's the reason why security guards were stationed at nearly every attraction. The CCTV footage revealed nothing unusual, just people purchasing sunglasses or Mickey Mouse strolling around with some children. A security guard mentioned that a child noticed Ronnie and informed him. He explained he was standing close to one of the rides when a little boy, who appeared to be no more than 6 to 7 years old, came up to him. "I know what happened to that boy," he told the guard. "Are you absolutely sure?" the park employee asked. He probably didn't witness anything crucial, but it was worth hearing him out. The boy nodded and said, "I saw Ronnie. He was with Mickey Mouse, but Mickey was tough and took him away." The guard wondered why the kid thought Mickey Mouse was taking children. Perhaps he was just a kidnapper, and maybe the children could be found. The boy added that Mickey Mouse had eaten those. The guard was completely at a loss for words. He didn't have any idea what to say. The parents took their son away, scolding him for his carelessness, and they thanked the park employee for his help. The guard knew he shouldn't be too concerned about the child's words, but he just couldn't get the thought out of his mind. He waited until his shift was over, and rather than going home, he decided to go to the security room. The guard asked the employees to go through the records thoroughly and look for any appearance of Mickey Mouse at the specific time James went missing. His eyes darted from one screen to another, scanning intently until he noticed something odd and requested that the video be paused. Everyone in the room turned their attention to the monitor, even though it appeared to be displaying nothing out of the ordinary. Mickey Mouse and the child were seen walking toward the service room. The boy seemed both confused and a bit frightened. Before heading home, the guard made a decision to investigate this room. He couldn't shake off what the boy had mentioned about Mickey Mouse and the missing children. He carried his walkie-talkie and keys with him just in case of an emergency. Next to the ride, there was an old, rusty maintenance room door that was hidden behind some trash cans. The guard moved the bins aside and attempted to open the door, but it was locked. He tried various keys, but none of them fit. Eventually, he succeeded in opening the door using his car keys. It turned out that the room led to an old maintenance tunnel for the park. The light was off, and the switch by the door wasn't functioning. There was a faint echo of a rat scurrying around. He regretted not bringing a flashlight with him. Suddenly, the guard exclaimed and quickly covered his nose with his hand. It smelled like poisoned mushrooms or decaying meat crawling with maggots. He tried to hold his breath, but the stench had already invaded his nostrils. The only light in the room came from the front door, which he had left wide open, but he hoped the smell wouldn't dissipate so that the other workers could notice it. The guard assumed that this tunnel went beneath the attraction, but there was only darkness ahead of him. He squinted, hoping his eyes would adjust, as at the moment he could only make out vague shapes. The deeper he went into the tunnel, the less he could see. Suddenly, the guard halted a couple of meters from the brick wall. He thought he had reached a bend. He saw nothing to the left, but to the right, he noticed a faint flickering light. The guard moved toward the light, keeping his hand on the wall to avoid getting lost. The smell intensified with every step. Eventually, he reached the light's source, a small crack under a metal door. It was rusted and bent. The guard knew it wouldn't take much to open it. He located the doorknob and gently opened it. The door creaked, and a foul odor started to escape the room. The employee wasn't deterred by the smell and cautiously peered into the brightly illuminated room. His eyes struggled to adjust quickly to the intense bright light, and when he finally took a look around, he was utterly horrified. Scattered all over the room were the children who had mysteriously vanished from the park over the past few years. He recognized them as James and Ronnie, lying on the floor among the others. Such a disturbing sight made the guard instinctively back away. Some of the children were missing arms or legs. Each of them had their eyes removed, leaving only bloody voids in their place. He turned his gaze away from the children and noticed a giant Mickey Mouse staring at him with eyes wide open. It wasn't clear who or what was inside that costume. The worker quickly realized that this creature could easily avoid drawing unnecessary attention. Yet now, that very same monster was looking directly at him. They stared at each other for several minutes. Then, Mickey's hand slowly rose and pointed at the guard. A piercing shriek came from the suit's head, and Mickey Mouse began moving toward the He started to run for his life, desperately trying to escape. The sound of heavy footsteps echoed loudly, revealing the creature pursuing him down the seemingly endless dark tunnel. The guard sprinted as fast as his legs would carry him, fully aware that death was lurking right behind him. He knew that a single strike from that enormous clawed paw would surely be lethal. He barely made it outside, blinking several times as he felt the warm, life-saving sunlight on his skin. It dawned on him that the creature had halted its pursuit, and the sunlight had been his savior. Perhaps that's the reason the monster chooses to wear a suit, as it shields itself from the light. After a brief moment of hesitation, the guard decided to carefully reach for the handle and close the door. But suddenly, Mickey Mouse's hands grabbed him unexpectedly. The employee managed to break free from the grip and forcefully slammed the door shut. He finally took a deep breath and felt a sense of safety. The security guard quickly ran to the CCTV room and informed the staff about what he had discovered in that particular room. He advised them to take their weapons, which they were instructed to use only as a last resort if necessary. A sizable group of guards made their way into the tunnel and discovered children scattered across the chilly concrete floor. Among the children, there was a Mickey Mouse costume stained with blood, lying there as if it had always been present. One guard, the only one among them, glanced back and peered into the tunnel's darkness, noticing tiny eyes that blinked and vanished instantly.